Hello and welcome to Stay Safe Thurston County. Today we're talking to Brian Windrope, the Executive Director for Senior Services for South Sound, to find out about their new online services and more. Hi Brian, how are you doing?
Doing great, Robert. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. Yeah, hanging in there. It's been a while since we talked, and I bet there's some new stuff, so we thought we'd have you on the show and see what's happening.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been just, as we all know, crazy change, crazy change, crazy change. I feel so sorry for the people who are really change averse because this is not a good time for them. Even those of us who are fairly change friendly have been dizzied by all of this. So good to see you and happy to answer your questions.
Dizzy is a good adjective to describe this. Well, so there's many new services implemented by the Senior Services for South Sound as you migrated to the internet to adopt to the new normal brought by the pandemic. Can you tell us more about these offerings?
Yeah, I'm happy to. When I was last on your show back early June, we had just started a program called Do You Know a Senior in Need that has been thriving ever since. And I'm happy to report that from out of that program, we've just had so many stories of heartbreaking and heartwarming stories of helping seniors in our community all over Thurston County, rural, urban, Thurston County, Mason County, who that program has helped get back on their feet, stay in good morale, stay in good spirits. We've just had so many stories of people who had been struggling to feed themselves, seniors who were sheltering in place and afraid to go to the store, not for economic reasons. People even might have enough money, but just trying to stay safe during COVID, right? And with these days, with the current numbers of COVID, it's even more true today than it was back in June.
I know it's even worse.
COVID's worse now than it was in June.
Exactly.
So that program, Do You Know a Senior in Need, has helped, last count, 793 seniors.
Wow, nice.
That may sound like a lot or a little, I don't know, but to me that's a lot. 793 people who needed help, seniors who needed help, and that program helps them with getting food, getting their medications. One of the most successful things we've done is a phone pal program where we connect volunteers who don't have to be seniors, right? People of all ages with seniors who are alone and lonely, which is, I think, most of them. I don't know a person these days who's not somewhat lonely. So with seniors, that we know that's an especially difficult time and a health concern for seniors. Anyway, so that phone pal program is also something we are really excited about, helping a lot of people that way. So yeah, that was a program we had just started when I spoke with you before, and now it's really continued to be a very important program for us. Meals on Wheels keeps doing what it does. Our amazing volunteers. These volunteers show up, fill their cars full of food, drive it out to seniors they know. They've been going there every week, maybe for years, and deliver food and check on these seniors. That's been going, continuing to be just a lifeline for our community. We deliver nearly 10,000 meals a week. Think about that. 10,000 meals a week, again, in Thurston and Mason counties. And our numbers of individual people in that program stays above 400, when before the pandemic, it was around 200. So just doing all we can in virtual ways with our class schedule. We have Zumba classes and we have lecture series. If you go to our website, Senior Services for South Sound, you can see a whole list, our calendar of all the things we're offering, lecture series. We had a really nice Veterans Day presentation this week. So all these virtual things, trying to stay, keep people engaged and help seniors with their boredom and stay connected as much as possible.
And these are all virtual classes that they're doing on the computer?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Everything's virtual. So even our Brighter Days program, which is normally an adult daycare program for people with cognitive issues, it's a program to help them and their caregivers. We're doing that virtually. We can't bring them in to be with them and give caregivers a break. but we are providing fitness videos for them to stay physically active, which really helps with cognitive issues, and entertainment and music programs. My predecessor here, Eileen McKenzie Sullivan, a very well-known, beloved person in our community, remains very active with Music Men's Minds. She and her cohort of musicians, a bunch of great people, fellow board members, staff, are still recording music videos that they share out with our community, especially the Brighter Days community, because music does mend minds. People who are having serious cognitive decline can still sing songs they remembered from childhood. You know, music's a magical thing in our lives. So, but all virtually. It's all happening virtually, Robert.
And on that note, what if a senior has trouble connecting to Zoom or whatever other virtual service you offer? How do you assist them?
Well, it's interesting you asked that. We just had a discussion, my board and I had a discussion about what is the role for our organization to help seniors with their technology challenges. We are in the midst of creating something that the inside name, it's not a public program yet, but we call it the Geek Squad, the Senior Support Geek Squad, where we're going to be recruiting volunteers who have IT experience, technical experience of any age. Could be a great thing for some high school students, honestly, to help seniors with their technology challenges, even if they have a computer, they have a laptop. As I know, as you know, if you have parents, you know, they have all the equipment, but what do all those buttons do? And you know, it's just a challenge. So we are starting a program to provide technical support to seniors. So I'll have more to say about that in the future. And in the meantime, seniors who do not have or do not know how to use this kind of video technology, all they have to do is call us. Mm-hmm. It's a simple phone call. If you call Senior Services at 360-586-6181, that's our main number. And if you enter extension 136, you're going to get someone who cares about you, who can listen to you, no matter what you need. You might just want someone to call you once in a while and say hello. You might need help with food. You might need help with medical care. Whatever it is, that's how they can reach us. They don't have to have any of this to engage with us and for us to help them. Does that answer your question, Robert?
Yes, thank you. I think a phone call sounds really simple. Just
it's
give
still,
you a call.
Our transportation program is still quite active. You know, we provide transportation for seniors who aren't eligible for dial-a-lift, or they have to get to medical appointments in Seattle is a big one, for advanced cancer treatments and those sorts of things. We have volunteer drivers who drive seniors to medical appointments. And people reach out to find out about that program also just on the phone. You can get on our website to learn about it, but most people just end up calling because they hear about it. And if you just leave a message on the main line, we'll get you to the right place, even if you don't know the right extension. So just call us and say what it is we can help you with, and you'll get a reply right away from someone who will do their best to help you.
And you probably need volunteers for that program, for the driving program, also the Meals on Wheels program. You're still looking for volunteers and reaching out to find volunteers?
Yeah, always. Our volunteer manager, Teresa Zinowitz, is just a fantastic person. She will treat you like gold. She has been our estate store manager. We just recently closed the estate store because of COVID, because of course it had to be closed and we couldn't afford the rent on it. She's now our volunteer manager, and we have an active list of needs, some of which you mentioned. We're also recruiting for safety ambassadors. We anticipate opening, Robert, here in the now foreseeable future. Not this year, don't get me wrong, but with the vaccine announcement, we are beginning to see the light. And so we're preparing for that eventuality. No one wants to open any more than we do. We just haven't been able to open because of following Safe Start guidelines and concern for the health of our seniors, of course. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be recruiting for safety ambassadors who are going to be volunteers we train to help us with the public, so that people who come in understand what our PPP requirements are, our safety guidelines are, and social distancing and so on, because we anticipate possibly being open before we're fully done with this pandemic, because some people project that taking until 2022 or 2023 even. Well, we're going to open before that, we hope, with vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
So safety ambassadors, Meals on Wheels drivers, phone pal people would be fantastic. Drivers for transportation. We use volunteers in some of our kitchens if you like to cook. We are a volunteer opportunity organization. if people have time and would like to give back in some way, every volunteer will tell you, everyone, without exception, they get from it more than they give to it. And that's the thing to remember. We go into it thinking we're going to do something for people, and then we find out, it means more to me than I ever thought it would. And that's something I'd like to share with your audience is it just feels good to give. It feels good to help. It makes our quality of life better, and of course, helps others.
And in this transportation program, is that referred to as the Bus Buddy program?
No, they're different programs.
Oh, this is a different program.
I'm glad you asked that.
Tell me about the Bus Buddy program. You resumed that?
The transportation program is a program of senior services for South Sound. The Bus Buddy program is not our program, but it's a great program. You can find out about it if you Google search, if you have a computer, Bus Buddy program, it pulls up a website with Intercity Transit. And it's a partnership between Intercity Transit, Catholic Community Services, and I think a few other partners. And essentially, it takes volunteers who like to ride the bus of many ages, trains them up a bit, and then partners them with people who are trying to learn how to ride the bus.
Oh, okay.
And it's operating now. It's open now, operating now. They help people figure out how to do bus trips to get to Seattle, to get to Chehalis, to get wherever they need to go. Great program. They need volunteers. If you're a senior and you need to take, public transportation for any reason, or if you can take public transportation, we all need to do more of that. That's for sure, for climate change and congestion purposes. This Bus Buddy program is a great way to learn the system. You don't have to show up at a bus stop not knowing what to do. You get help from someone who will meet you there, physically join you, and show you how to get around on the system. It's a great thing. Intercity Transit hosts the website for it.
Oh, okay. And so it's not the dial-a-lift. It's just taking the regular routes then.
Yes, okay. It's separate from dial-a-lift. It's separate from our own transportation program. We transport seniors to medical appointments primarily.
Okay.
The Bus Buddy program is just, hey, how do you get around Puget Sound on a bus safely and effectively? It's a great idea, great program.
All right. Well, tell us about the PopUp Shop.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, the estate store had to close. It was a really sad day. That store had been a real favorite of our community. We had a lot of volunteers working there, and if you knew about it, oh, geez, the bargains you could get, just great stuff at really cheap prices. But we operated the estate store also as a way to generate revenue for our programs, our social service programs that don't pay for themselves. So when COVID hit, we just faced the real bummer of not being able to afford the rent. So we made the hard choice to close the estate store. And Teresa, our store manager there, who's well known by those folks, also runs our Bud Bay Bargains, which is had been just a clothing outfit, clothing and some knickknacks and jewelry here in the Olympia Center. But that's closed as well. So she's now our volunteer manager. But she had the idea, Teresa's great, that we would do a little display at the Lighthouse, Lighthouse Antiques here in Olympia. And so we have they rent out space to people, right? So we're one of the people who rents space at Lighthouse. And we have a little spot, and we tried it out, and the rent's not much, so we didn't have to make very much. And we put some of our favorite things there, and it's doing really well. Teresa is really clever and has good taste. So she's about to put a bunch of holiday things there, some of our best of, and people who know about it know it's a good spot to get really nice things at a very affordable prices.
Are you taking donations for that?
No, good question again, Robert. We're not taking donations because of COVID. We
Okay.
have enough inventory on hand to keep it well supplied through the holidays, and we're not able to take donations right now. I'm sorry to say, just because of COVID concerns.
Well, you're able to take monetary donations, I'm sure.
Yes,
Just not
yes,
not not
Don-
clothing and items. Okay.
yes, not donations of goods,
Mm-hmm.
but we
Okay.
depend upon donations of time and donations of money to keep our lights on and do our programming.
Okay. So you're looking for donations, you're looking for volunteers. You still have that senior in need program going that people should refer seniors that are in need to you. Are there any other things that the community can do to help South Sound seniors during the holidays?
Well, that's a pretty good list, Robert. That's a good list. I would just ask the community to reflect on, given the timing of this interview, that it is the holiday season, and for some of us, it's a favorite time of year. It's a time of great light. We celebrate it with light, right? No matter what faith tradition you come from, there's usually some aspect of light in the holidays because here in the northern hemisphere, anyway, it's the darkest time of year. Uh, and so I would ask people to reflect upon how their own lives have been blessed during the holidays, how they're fortunate, and to consider helping those who are less fortunate, people who've lost their family. As we age, we lose people. And if we lose enough people, and sometimes the people closest to us, it can become a time of real hardship for any of us. It doesn't, not just economically, but just for any of us, it can be a harder time. And so I would ask that people consider volunteering to be a phone pal. A phone call to saying, "Hey, how you doing?" can make all the difference. And of course, giving of time, giving of donations. We have an appeal out in the community right now to help us spread light and cheer to seniors during this holiday season. So we certainly appreciate people's generosity with that. We we are we are a private nonprofit organization, Robert. People need to understand that as well. As large as we are, as robust as we are, as blessed as the community really is to have a resource like us here, we are a private nonprofit. We are not a government agency. We rely on some federal dollars for Meals on Wheels and some of our programs, but it's never more than about 50% of our funding. So for a sense of scale, that's how much we depend on donations from everyone, you and I, to provide our programs is more than 50% of our budget.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we let you go?
No, happy holidays to you, everybody else. Best wishes. The solstice is on the way, December 21st, and then we return to light.
And the
So
light will be coming
enjoy the
back.
holidays, and we have so much to appreciate and be grateful for these days, despite our hardships.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Take good care.
If you know a senior in need, or if you are a senior in need, if you'd like to donate or volunteer, please go to the website southsoundseniors.org or call 360-586-6181, extension 136. If you have any suggestions for something we should cover, please send me an email, rkam@tcmedia.org. Stay updated with Thurston Community Media and stay safe, Thurston County.